All right, Gustavo, let's take a look at this problem. And I think the issue that you're having is maybe with the choice of values. You pick to plug a 0 in for y, and while that will give you a point on the graph, in this particular problem, it's going to give you a fraction. And so while it would be okay maybe if we were graphing on paper, the MyMathLab graph is not going to let you graph a fraction like that as part of the graph. So I think the key to this one is choosing good values. In a situation like this where this graph is solved for y, if I'm going to solve it by plotting points, I'm going to pick values for x for sure. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a 0 because that's going to make the x term go away, right? It'll give us y equals 0 plus 2 or 2, so 0, 2 will be a point on our graph. And then what I'm going to do for my next point is I'm going to choose an x that's a multiple of 3. Because I have that 3 in the denominator of the fraction, if I choose an x value that's a multiple of 3, I can get some fractions canceling out, get some things that are a little easier to work with, and get some points that are actually graphable in MyMathLab. So I'm going to choose an x value of 3 here for my second one. And when I plug that in, I'll have y equals negative 4/3 times 3 plus 2, and then in this situation 3 divided by 3 is equal to 1, right? The 3 on the top and the 3 on the bottom will cancel each other out, so I'll have negative 4 plus 2, can put those together and get negative 2. So 3, negative 2 is going to be the second point that I'm going to use to graph this thing. And really this is all you need to graph this on MyMathLab, is these 2 points. If you wanted to try another point to see what would happen and maybe uses it like a checkpoint, then what you would do is pick another multiple of 3 for your x. Like I would probably pick a negative 3. And if I plug that in, negative 4/3 times negative 3 plus 2. Again, the 3's cancel, but a negative times a negative this time is a negative 4. Wait, and I'm sorry, positive 4. Negative times a negative. And so that'll give me a 6. So negative 3, 6 would be a third point that I could use to graph the thing. So if you're plugging values into a variable that's got a fraction coefficient, what you generally want to do, if all you're doing is picking points, is choose a multiple of the denominator so that you'll get a whole number there, and it'll be a little easier to work with. Okay, so hopefully that helps. You'll just graph 2 of those points with your line tool, and that'll get you where you need to be. Please let me know if you have any other questions.